Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Dom, the tech expert, here for all your cellular technical needs. And today in this video, we're going to be discussing what to do if you're having issues with signal. Again, if you are having issues with a different phone software or a different model that I'm not viewing in this video, please send me an email and I will update some instructions directly for you, or you can also comment in the video. Also, if you know anybody who will benefit from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We will make sure that we cover everything you need to know to hopefully save you some time so that you don't have to call in and waste time on the phone. So with signal issues, one question that you want to ask yourself is if the issue is coming from the network or the towers, as some people like to say, or if the issue is coming from the device or the software. One way to know if the issue is coming from the device or if it's coming from the phone is if your problem is happening everywhere you go. And so no matter where you go, no matter how far, even outside of or I should say, especially outside of a 10-mile radius, that means your phone is not working on no matter what cell tower is working, unless the cell phone carrier that you have is telling you that there is a major outage where every single tower in your city is down, which is not very likely and very rare. Odds are it is a device issue. But if you are having issues in a specific location, or there is a continued pattern, let's say you don't have signal inside of your house, but you have signal when you leave, or when you're traveling to work, you continually hit the same dead spots, and you kind of know those spots when you come across it. You know, you're on the phone with your friend, you gotta say, hey, I gotta call you back. I'm about to hit one of those spots where I'm gonna lose my calls. Issues like that is definitely the network. If it is a device issue, there's some steps you can do all on your own without having to call in. If it is a network issue, if it works somewhere and not others at times, that is something you want to call your carrier about. So if you are experiencing those type of issues where the signal is only rough at home, or if it's only working in certain places, definitely pick up the phone and call your carrier. There might be something else going on. But today we're going to be discussing what to do if your phone's not working anywhere. And so, again, I'm working with the Galaxy S10 and the iPhone XR, but a lot of the phones are very similar in a lot of these steps. But one of the first things you always want to do if you are having signal issues is you want to make sure that you turn off your phone. A lot of people mistakenly think that hitting the sleep button, in the case on the iPhone, it's the side. Some people mistakenly think that that is turning off the phone when it's going to sleep like that. This is not how you shut off the phone on any device. When we turn off the device, you want to definitely make sure that it fully powers off so that when you hit the side button and just tap it, it's not turning back on like this. So on the iPhone, there's a couple of different ways, but I'm just going to show you guys the most common way. On the iPhone, you want to tap the volume up, tap the volume down, and hold the power button, and you'll see that slide to power off. And many of you guys are familiar with that. And when you slide to power it off, that turns off the iPhone there. On the Galaxy S10, it is a little bit more clear cut. You just hold that power button on the side for about 3 seconds. And I'll do that again. 3 seconds. And you'll see the power off menu there. And you'll tap the power off, or you can do restart too. But the key is you definitely want to make sure it's turned off. It's fully off. And when you tap this, it's not powering back on right away. That's how you know it's off. And then when you want to turn it back on, just press the power button, and you should be able to see all the startup menus on there. Sounds like a simple step, but you would be surprised at how many people miss that step. And I would say, just for good phone maintenance, it's always good to make sure that your phones are powered off at least for 10 minutes once a week, just to give your phones that break. But perfect. So let's say, you do that, it's still not working. The next step that you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure that all the basics are turned off. So the basics, what I mean is you want to make sure the simple first step menu options are turned off. And by that, I mean, you want to make sure your airplane mode is turned off. So if your airplane mode is turned on, that's causing definitely some issues there. And so if the Wi-Fi is turned on, you want to make sure that the Wi-Fi is turned off just to be sure, and different things like that. So that's how you do it on the iPhone. Airplane mode, make sure that's turned off. Wi-Fi, if that is on, you turn it off. On the S10, pretty similar. You go into settings, just to show you guys again. You go into the settings, or you can also pull from the top. And in that top right corner, you hit settings. And inside of settings, you want to tap on connections. And inside of connections, you got the Wi-Fi. Airplane mode, same thing. You want to make sure that is turned off in there. So that definitely helps. The next thing you want to look out for is the Wi-Fi calling. On the newer phones, the Wi-Fi calling is not so much a big deal. But a lot of people are confused about the difference between regular Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi calling. So just for example, you'll see in here, thankfully on the Galaxy, it's laid out right here so you can clearly see the difference. But just because you have on the Wi-Fi does not mean that the Wi-Fi calling is on. If your Wi-Fi is turned on, but the Wi-Fi calling is turned off, you are still making your phone calls through the T-Mobile network and not the Wi-Fi. In order for Wi-Fi calling to be enabled, you have to have the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi calling turned on to make sure that it's making those phone calls and that connection directly through the Wi-Fi. But if you are having issues with signal, you want to make sure that you are reducing as many possible causes. So in this case, we're going to turn off the Wi-Fi calling and as well as the Wi-Fi to make sure that the issue is definitely happening on the network. On the iPhone, you go into the settings. The Wi-Fi is the second option as soon as you open up the settings. If you need to turn that off, you switch that off. I already have it off there. And to check the Wi-Fi calling, you go into cellular, and you'll see Wi-Fi calling right there. Mine is turned on. You'll slide that off. So having the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi calling turned off will ensure that you are completely on the network and it's not causing any issues. So the next steps we're going to do is more, I would say advanced, I guess, or just more deeper into the settings to kind of get to the root cause. But the next thing you want to do, if all that has been checked and you're still having issues, we're going to move on to the network settings reset. And usually when I say that, a lot of people get scared. They think that I'm talking about the master reset. And the master reset is what erases everything off of your phone. This is not that. So the network settings reset, that pretty much restores all of your network settings, which is the mobile data or the cellular data, the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi back to factory settings. But when doing this, the only real effect that you will see or changes that you will see on the phone is the Wi-Fi, meaning that if you have Wi-Fi at home, for example, you're going to have to reconnect to it. And if you have a password for that Wi-Fi, you're going to have to remember the Wi-Fi password. A question that I get asked all the time is, does that mean I'm going to have to do that with all my devices in my house that connects to the Wi-Fi? And the answer is no. Your TVs, your Xbox, DVD players, everything else that is connected to your Wi-Fi will not be affected by resetting the network settings. Only your phone will have to do that reconnection setup. But really important step, the network settings reset. I'm going to show you first on the iPhone here. But on the iPhone, you want to go into your settings. And let's say you're on the first page here when you open up. You want to scroll down and tap on General. And on General, you scroll down almost to the very bottom, and you're going to tap on Reset. When you tap on Reset, you're going to see a whole bunch of different reset options here on the iPhone. Don't be intimidated by them, but the Reset Network Settings is right in the middle. You tap it once. So if you have a passcode, it's going to ask you for that. Oop, I'm going to have to bleep that out so you guys don't have my code. And it'll pop up at the bottom here, Reset Network Settings in red letters. You tap that to confirm it, and you will see that it's going to do this power off cycle. It should power on by itself, but if it does not, that's okay. Just turn it back on yourself just by pressing the side button here. On the S10 Plus, it's a little bit of a different process. So if you want to reset the network settings here, you go into your settings, and from the settings, you scroll down, and what you're going to look for is General Management. And in General Management, you're going to tap on Reset, and you'll see there, Reset Network Settings. It'll bring up this warning, Reset Settings. and it'll ask for the PIN. I'll just bleep this out too. And after you type in your PIN, it'll bring up one last warning. So remember, it's going to bring up two different options to tap reset. But you tap this reset, and unlike the iPhone, well, I don't think I got it there. Unlike the iPhone, this one won't turn off. You see at the bottom here, you might have to rewind it, but at the bottom there, it said network settings reset to let you know that it's been done. So this one, it won't look like it does. It really did anything that first initial time you do it. But as long as you see that flash at the bottom, do it again. 1 second. Right there. If it pops that message up, letting you know it's been done, that's how you know it's been completed. This step fixes, I would say, at least 50% of all issues that I see with Signal here. So it's a really good step to try. Okay, the iPhone finally came back. I had to power it on manually, and that's okay. That happens sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't come back on automatically like it should. But that is the network settings reset. And so at this point, just to kind of recap our steps, we have power cycled the phone. We have turned it off. We turned it back on. We did our basic check. We make sure that airplane mode and Wi-Fi is turned off. We've made sure the Wi-Fi calling is turned off so that the phone is completely on the network. And now we have reset the network settings. So from that point, we still don't have any signal, or the signal's not very good. What do we do at that point? From this point, what we want to do now is make sure that the phone is updated on the software. In many cases, if you are very far behind in your software updates, it can cause issues. So I'm just going to show you guys where to go on both devices, the Samsung and the iPhone, starting off with the iPhone, on how to check your software versions. And if you need an update, how to do those updates. So on the iPhone, you're going to press Settings. And inside of Settings, you're going to go to General. And in General, you'll see at the very top, it says Software Update. And it'll begin to search. So mine is up to date, and so it doesn't pop up with any updates. It gives me this message saying that your software is up to date. But if there was an update, you would see a download and install option at the top right. And also below there, it'll give you some additional information about the software update that the phone is trying to do. On the iPhone, if you do have that update, just a quick tip, your phone does have to be, it has to have, I believe, like 90% of a battery life, or it has to be plugged into the charger for it to do the software update. And also it has to be connected to the Wi-Fi. And so both of those have to be in order for the download and install option that you would see up there if there was an update to turn blue. So that is on the iPhone. Now we're going to check it on the S10 Plus here. And so what you'll do, let me go back. You want to go into the settings. And inside of the settings, Samsung lays it out nice and easy, which I really like about the Samsung software. You click on Software Update. You click on Download and Install. And it's going to search for you right there if there's any updates. This one is also up to date in here as well too, but pretty similar to the iPhone. If there was an update, you will see I believe it says download manually on there, and you'll tap on that. In the software update, guys, it takes about 10 minutes for the phone to load the software and get it onto the phone. It's going to shut off. So definitely, make sure you have some free time when doing the software update if your software is behind. Quick tip for Android users, for Samsung users in particular, if you are multiple versions behind, so if there's multiple software versions that you haven't done on your phone, unlike the iPhone, which kind of has the advantage where it just does all those updates the first time you do it, Samsung will make you go in and do all of those updates individually. And so if you do your software update and you notice that it's popping up again, or your phone has been telling you that, hey, there's another update that needs to be done, it's not the phone giving you any software issues. It's the fact that you are multiple versions behind. So in many cases, that is probably why you're having signal issues, if you notice that. But either way, software updates is another good thing to check when you are having signal issues for sure. Let's say if you are still having those issues, what we're going to do now is called a manual network selection. And now a manual network selection, that is when you are forcing the phone. You're saying, hey, phone, I noticed that you are not getting a very good signal, and I need you to connect to whatever carrier I have. And so to do that, we're going to start with the Galaxy S10 Plus. Let me start over. You go into the settings. We're doing a manual network selection. So to get to that option, you're going to click on Connections at the very top. And then inside of Connections, you're going to tap on Mobile Networks. And inside of Mobile Networks, you're going to tap on Network Operators. And inside of Network Operators, you're going to tap on Search Now. It's going to pop up this message. It always says on every Samsung, it always brings up this message that says unable to search for networks while data service is in use. You can just press OK and ignore that. And what the phone is going to do is it's going to search. You see that circle there that's spinning? It can do this for a couple of minutes. But what it is going to do when it is done, it's going to pop up a list of all the carriers that's in the area, or it should in that case. But literally it can sit here for a while. So I might edit this out and show you guys what it'll look like when it's done. We see Verizon on there, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. What you want to do in this case, whatever is your carrier, and in this case, this specific phone is a T-Mobile phone. You want to tap on your carrier, which I tapped on T-Mobile. It will bring up this disconnect network option on there. And when you just press OK on there, it'll say registering the network. And if it successfully connects, it'll say register to network on there. And you'll be good to go. But your goal is to see if you have any signal up there. If you do that, you want to see if your signal bars has improved or came back, and if you have the 4G LTE up there. If it's looking about the same, we know that is not the issue. Sometimes if you're doing the manual network selection and it doesn't bring up any options, or it gives you an error message before it brings up all those carriers, that means it is a phone issue. And you guys definitely want to give a call to your carrier for those next steps. There's something really wrong with the phone in that case. But this is how you do a manual network selection on the S10. And so very similar, I'm going to show you the same on the iPhone. All right, so on the iPhone, you go into the settings. And inside of the settings, you want to make sure you're on that first page. Inside of the settings, you go into cellular at the very top. Let's do that again. We're at the very top. Tap on cellular. You scroll down and you see network selection there. And when you tap on network selection, there's that automatic switch. It is okay to go ahead and turn that off. And my iPhone's a little bit quicker, so it immediately brought up the carriers. But this is T-Mobile. So we're going to tap on T-Mobile. You tap on any carrier that you're on. So whatever, if you're on AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, or whatever, you tap on any carrier you're on. This is T-Mobile, so we're going to tap there. It'll put that blue check mark there, which is how you know it's connected. And the same thing as the S10, you want to see if your signal bars improve, if it gives you an error message, or whatever the case. But yeah, if it doesn't even load this list and it tells you there's an error with the connection or with the network or anything like that, go ahead and call your carrier after doing all these steps. There is something wrong. But that is pretty much it. That is the manual network selection on the phone there. If your phones are still not working at this point, or you're still having really bad signal issues everywhere you go, then you want to go ahead and reach out to your carrier. But if you are feeling up for the challenge, a really helpful step, if you have the tools, is to take your SIM card out and to put your SIM card into another working phone. So if you have any friends or family that stays with you that has a working phone with the same carrier, you want to take your SIM card out and see if it does the same in their phone. But on the S10, you see that little hole? This is the SIM card tray. And if you push a pin in there pretty forcefully, it'll pop the SIM card tray out. And that's how you take out the SIM card on there. It's very similar to the iPhone. I don't believe all carriers use SIM cards. So this is only if your carrier uses a SIM card. I know it's T-Mobile. I think Verizon. I don't think Sprint does. But on the iPhone, same thing. You see that little hole? That's where you pop your pin into. You push it in there and your SIM card pops out. And you just want to take your SIM card, and the test is to see if your SIM card is working. And so if you take your SIM card out of your phone and put it into another phone and it doesn't work still, then call your carrier. That means there's something wrong either with the SIM card or something's horribly wrong with the network. But if you put your SIM card out of one phone and put it in the other, and the other phone works, but your phone does not, then that means that it's something's wrong with your phone. And that's probably going to lead into a master reset. You can call your carrier. So either way, no matter what the results are from this test, you probably still want to call your carrier if you tried all these steps already and it's still not working. But those are the steps there. If your signal issues are coming from the device, remember, if it is happening in specific locations or in specific patterns, immediately call the carrier. If it's happening everywhere you go, you're having the same issues, you want to do these steps. And I hope that this saves you guys time and money. We want to respect that. We want to respect you. But that's all I have today. I hope you guys stay blessed. I hope this video was informal. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, wherever you're at. And I thank you.